you just do it. I don't think you listen to people telling you that you're anything other than that, and you just. But it really comes from the artists. It all comes from the artists. A lot of young artists that are trying new things. We try to keep when we look at the festival every year, the builds that we've done over the years have all been around the changing face of independent film. Still the strength of low budget, crazier stuff mixed with the genres too, horror genre coming into independence in big ways. Voices from everywhere, women's voices, African American voices. They are really what keeps us fresh.
And we've even evolved the sections of the festival to be able to keep up with what's new and who's new. We created a section called Next a few years ago because we have so many alumni that keep making brilliant films. We want to be able to show their movies, and what we're mainly about is discovering new talent, and so we keep evolving the festival to make sure that stays in the forefront.
I think that they think of them just their own voice, pretty much. We try to train them or talk to them a lot about following their vision on their films and keeping true to that. Because whenever they try to do a vision for somebody else, it doesn't work. So we try to keep them true to themselves, true to the stories that they want to tell, and they keep coming up with really interesting stories.
Yeah, always the story is first. Their passion for what they want to tell. I mean, it's interesting. Our theme for the festival this year, which was on the cover of our catalog, was "The Story Is in You," and that's how they get made.
I think freedom for sure. As much as people talk about those other platforms like Netflix and Amazon who are making film, the freedom that they're giving the filmmakers too is important because they're not having to build for a theatrical model. So I talk to the filmmakers all the time. We showed, I think, 5 Netflix films at Sundance this year. So I'm seeing that there's probably just a lot more, less interference almost between what they want to do and getting it on the screen. So I think we're seeing more of that. Taking chances, not being afraid of content that might be upsetting too. We look at a film like The Tale, which is opening night here. She didn't shy away from what the story is about and not pulling punches.
Man, did she use the medium well to tell a really, complex story. But I think filmmakers feel more freedom to make content than they ever have before. Like, I think, people who feel, I want to do this, feel like they have more opportunities now to do it because there's so many more platforms to show their work. And so
I think the audiences too are telling us there's such a direct content through social media, and it's so fast that I think the audiences are telling the filmmaking community, if you want to call it that, what they're into. And I think that they're much smarter and much more up for a challenge than we give them credit for.
We're showing a film called 8th Grade, and part of what that movie is about is that the generation today, everything they do is on camera, and they're so used to. So that is like the next step is, wow, I can create content myself because I've lived on camera my life and I know how it feels.
I'm excited about a lot of the panels. I'm excited about the one on comedy in film, like when you get direct. We also get, because it's Sundance, I think we draw a lot of audience of young filmmakers. So that is exciting for me because as much as they think they're coming for this, I'm scouting them. I'm getting them to talk about what they have because I'm taking names and numbers and building, so I always tease them later that they don't know how much we track them through this whole process. So I have an ulterior motive. I mean, the films are going to play. I'm looking forward to some of the films playing too. Like we said, Hereditary is just such a fun film to watch in its horror.
Scary. It's scary good.
Yes.
I'm always excited about the Q&As here in London because they're always so intriguing to me because the audiences here just ask different types of questions than they do back in the States, and it always takes me by surprise and makes me, wow, that was a great question. You know, it's like that. I'm not saying they're all dumb in the U.S. They're not, but they're.
Some of us are.
Some of us are, yes, but no, we get really great questions here. Oh,
I think it's just getting the tools in their hands, so there's not that whole. It's a financial burden, which used to be film has such a financial burden to be for creativity, I think, and that's what it's been erased. And we've been with Adobe for a long time, and we even do a youth program with Adobe now. It's called Ignite, and I really see that the people that very early in their careers have all the tools at their fingertips just start to think with those tools in mind, and I think the product is better and it looks good.